Hello, welcome back to the game development of day 1 for my project of Energy Hero, which is basically a WebGL game, which is developed in Unity, and this is my first day of this development log. Today I wanted to go over this to-do list, and I wanted to finish up these tasks, and if I had time I wanted to add some more tasks for me to complete on the next days. Actually, I needed to finish and wrap up this project maybe for the next week, and I'm trying to finish up this one, and I want to start a new fresh project in the near future, because this project took me more than enough time for this. That's why I just wanted to focus on finishing this project right now, and I managed to come till the chapter 4 section, and right now I'm just going over the basic mechanics, the main mechanics of this game. So let's just open up the Unity and find my to-do text and continue where it left off in the previous day. Actually, yesterday I did not manage to record some video, or I did not manage to work on this project. I did not have any time, because as this channel says that makes games, I'm a dad of 2 kids, and yesterday was Saturday, and I did not manage to spend time on this Unity project, because I spent most of my time with my kids yesterday. That's why I skipped yesterday for this development series, but today I had an hour, more or less an hour. That's why let's keep it up and continue this from this chapter. So let's start with the number 1. Notes. After retry button is pressed, player start position return back to player last position. Player start position does not reset back to chapter start condition as in opponent, which states that in chapter 4 I remember this bug. So let's start with this bug. Yes. I'm not a hero, but since I finished this chapter in positive, I only had end game button, not the retry button. So let's retry it again. Okay, retry button appears. Whoop, yeah, that's the problem. My character is over there, however the start section is there. And what happens when I press the next buttons? Yeah. Let's go over to chapter 4 GUI script, which is my main script. Responsible for this chapter 4 section. This is my main script responsible for chapter 4 methods and chapter 4 logics inside, and there is a retry button in here. This is the logic happens when I press the retry button. What I did here is that the same trick I apply for the opponent's try. When I press the retry button, this method just goes and finds the opponent script, and inside the opponent script there is a method called return to chapter start position, which is responsible for returning the opponent back to the start position. And I just tried the same trick for the player. As you can see in here, character movement chapter 4 script is the one responsible for my character movement for the player. That's why I found script inside my hierarchy, and at the same methods return to chapter start position, I just copied the same method from the opponent to the player, and let's see if this resolves this issue. I just put my vehicle, the cell vehicle, over the side and wait for the opponent to finish the game. Okay. Oh, it restarts. The position, however, they are both on the same line. How about yes, the retry button appears, but right now the player just way behind the character. Let's try this one. Opponent just goes and yeah, retry button. Yes, this is good. I like this value. When I press the start race, the player moves sideways, but I'm not really sure why this happens. Is there any way to get clear? Okay, I do not understand what is the reason for this behavior, but let's try to find it again. Carry card trace. Card trace. This is moving and I press left and right. Values does not change, and these are the values that change. Carry card trace, carry card trace. Okay, just make reset Z position. No, not the Z position, reset X position. Methods in order to make a easy solution for this issue. What I did in here is that when I press the retry button, this thing just goes and searches for the carry cards script also. And when I find the carry card script also, the x-axis position is the problem right now I'm facing with, because along the spline, along the racing path, I managed to reset position back to zero, back to the start position for both the opponent and the player. However, right now I just do not manage to reset the x-axis position for the player. That's why I found out that the carry card script, this method is responsible for the x-axis movement, And after I found out that this is responsible for the x-axis movement, I just added a reset x position, a public method in here for just resetting the position back to the start conditions. So let's see that if this easy fix is working, and this easy fix can help us to solve this problem. Let's just wait for the opponent to finish the race. It finishes. When I press the button, the opponent and the player turns back to their original start position, and I continue from here. No. This isn't good. It does not reset the try. Turns back to next. When I press the start, no way. Now come. Text start text, and this changes. Clear active. Back to moment. First input pressed. This is the callback function. Started to true. If race has started, what happens? Okay, how about left right movement? How about this fix? Instead of this, reset X position. Or just public void reset X position over here. Try next. Yes, I managed to solve this issue. What happens is that what I figured out is that the carry card raise isn't responsible for the exposition of my character movement script. Actually, the character movement script is responsible for the movement of this carry card raise, which is in here in this update loop. It caught my attention that I just show it to you. This is my fixed update loop, which is both responsible for the movement along the spline and movement along the x-axis. And when the race has started condition, this boolean condition is changed from false to true. It just starts updating, and when we look inside the update character position method in here, this character position method is responsible for looking at the x-axis inputs, which results in moving the character in x-axis. That's why when the x-axis input is more than 0, it goes towards the positive direction, and when the x-axis amount is less than 0, it goes into the negative axis. The thing that this current left-right movement amount just caches this value and keep this value in the memory. That's why when I pressed the after I pressed the retry button, it does not update, it does not reset back this current left right movement amount to 0, which in results that's when I move my character, move my player on the sides on x-axis, it does not return back to this its original position, in its 0 position, to be clear. That's why in order to solve this bug, in order to resolve this bug, I added this reset x position inside this character movements chapter 4 script, which I wrote probably 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this just right now I'm just adding one line under this current left right movement about the amount. This is the amount which caches the last position over the x-axis of this character of the player. That's why with the help of this method and integrating this method also in the under the retry button pressed method or inside the chapter 4 GUI script, this resolves my problem. After retry button problem, and this one is finished. This can just goes into the done line. Okay, but why do? Yes. Now let's continue on with the next one. Little text inside the chapter should be implemented when player grabs any of the nutrients. Yes. This is the thing that in my chapter, in all of my chapters, there are some little scripts, there are some little dialogue boxes over the player. For example, in chapter 3, I have nutrient text and waste text. These texts are just triggered when the player interacts with this object, not only the nutrient object but also with the waste object, and these texts are just arises from this interaction between the player and the object. Let's just start adding this dialogue text over here. Where are you? Text chapter 4. I had take note about this chapter 4 small texts that I want 3 of these chapter 4 small texts, and chapter 4 small text with number 0. Yes, this is the first one. Let's continue with the next 2 of them. This is the second one, and this is the third one. When the interaction happens, what I'm referring to the interaction is that when the player card goes over a nutrient, this text should appear above the player. So the currently the logic is like that. The physics systems inside this game just looks for the triggers between the player and the nutrients and the player, and right now it just updates the timer. This timer, the heat meter in here, and heat meter at slider. Yes, this thing is responsible for right now updating the heat meter inside chapter 4. The heat meter inside chapter 4 is called from here. Also, I can use this on trigger enter section for calling or updating the dialog boxes above the player. So let's continue from here, and if other compare tag is nutrient, and what happens, this calling of these small texts over the player, the responsibility for this is inside the behavior tree of chapter 4 GUI. Let me show you. Or GUI. Here I have my canvas, and these are the things that are responsible for this action. So let's just go and find the logic inside here. Or how about just looking at the chapter 3 script, because I've already implemented script inside here. If object contains waste, yes, perfect. This is the method I'm looking for. Sensor on object grabbed. How this is called? This is called via events. And where is the on enable? Yes. This is enable and disable inside this chapter 4. My carry card trace has this method. And here my small text. Okay, I want to explain what I implemented in here. I'm just went to this carry card trace script, which is responsible for this trigger interactions between the nutrient and the player inside this chapter 4, and I found out that on trigger enter is in here is also already checking the interaction between the nutrient and my player. And after this interaction happens, I added an action task inside this carry card trace, and this just invokes an event, invokes an action for this carry card trace. This carry card trace invoke the action name is on nutrient grabbed in here. I renamed this action, and inside my chapter 4 GUI I added this carry card on nutrient grabbed action and connect this action with my method carry card on object grabbed method inside in here, and whenever this action triggers, this carry card on object grabbed method is be triggered also, and connecting this method and this action inside the on enable is just creates an connection, creates an bound between this method and this action. Also inside the on disable I needed to remove this connection between this method and this action, because this is the best use case. This is one of the things that you should be aware of when you are assigning an object. Just keep in mind that if you connect an method and an action in on enable, you should also remove them inside the on disable. So when this interaction happens, it calls in here, and the rest is just direct copy from this chapter 3 GUI section, and which I remember that inside that section inside the chapter 3 where these small texts are working flawlessly. I also needed to change this chapter 4 small text. This is the key value inside my JSON file, JSON language file, and this just goes there and collects the name. In current condition, it should work whenever the player grabs an nutrient. It should just appears above the player. Let's just try it. Choosing from one day, chemical reactions can transform nutrients in profit, chemical cells in body. Okay, let's check it. Nutrition input. This I see this one and this one also, but this does not appear. Why this does not appear? Let's try this way. Nutrients in foods, chemical reaction can cells bit slow. Yes, the third one is also, I can see the third one. Cells bit slow due to too much heat from the oh no. This text is should be called from the not should be called when the character collects a nutrient. It should be called when this penalty is happens. The penalty is happened in when the heat meter says that you collected too much nutrient in a short period of time, which results in the overheating of the cell underneath the character. That's why this is the penalty. After penalty, this is the penalty duration, and this penalty is applied, is called whenever the character overheats, collects more nutrients than the cell can process. So there's an easy fix for this, and let's try this easy fix. Okay, what I did in here is that I added another action on penalty applied action under the heat meter script in here, and this action is invoked whenever the penalty condition is satisfied inside this heat meter. When this action is invoked, chapter 4 GUI is just listening to that event, listening to that action, and when this action is invoked inside the heat meter, it's also invokes and calls this method heat meter on a penalty applied method inside this chapter 4 GUI script, as you can see here. And the rest of the methods, the rest of the lines are just direct copy from this one. So let's just try to make this penalty happen, and let's see if this is working or not. This solution is working or not. Right now, the character, the player, this small text should be called while the nutrients are collected, and this small text should be called when the penalty position, when the penalty condition is met. So let's just try this one. Okay. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 6 cell speed slow due to also the length of this dialogue. This small text should be rearranged. So let's just look at it and if to see if we can see an easy fix for this one. Carbs collected. Carbs collected. Where is carbs collected? This is to after collectible grabbed. Wait 4 seconds and disable tutorial. To after collectible grabbed. Do after collectible grabbed. Press down tutorial and set load text value. I needed to decrease the time for this animation. Okay, I figured out the problem in here. When I do this small texts, when the .win is finished, when this writing letter by letter is finished, it just does this callback function and returns this callback function, which in this section the called from that load text value chapter 4 GUI are here. When do after collectible grabbed method is called inside the behavior tree, it says down tutorial text and set load text value. Set load text value is responsible for, it has these inputs. Also in my if called from, do I have any called from in here in chapter 4? No, only the collectible text. My called from is null, display text with animation, null, callback function will be null inside here. Okay, how about increasing the wait time from 4 seconds to 8 seconds? How about increasing this time to 8 seconds and try this way. And bother. Yes, it waits for the. This one is better. It waits for the player to read through this text. So how about decreasing the win of this? Decreasing the animation duration of this text. How will it be like? Oh, that's better. I like it. I like it, but the 8 seconds is too much in here. So I just use this 8 seconds to 6 seconds. And that's all for today. Actually, I ran out of time. That's why I needed to finish this over here. And let's just looking at the to-do list again. Little text inside the chapter should be implemented when player grabs and often returns. Yes, this is also finished. This is also finished. Playtesting should be done on this chapter in order to make the chapter more playable, easier for the kids, and which is the target audience in here. I will check this on the next session, but I also needed to say that I also needed to take a note in here as if player crashes with the opponent, no penalty should be applied. Also, from now on, it looks like the overall game, the mechanics looks finished because I have implemented the chapter 4 mechanics and chapter 4 section, and overall it's good enough for me. But I needed to make sure that this game, when I packed this game, it should be less than 30 megabytes, because my target size for this package, for the package of this game, should be less than 30 megabytes. That's why in the next time have a build and keep the size below 30 megabytes. Also, in the next time, in the next session, I needed to implement some sound effects. I already have some sound effects inside this game, which is, yes, under this sound section. As you can see, there are some effects: my music, my button click, my positive feedback, negative feedback, etc. These are the ones that I used in my previous game, and I just copied these ones into this game also. And I will continue probably using these sounds, or maybe I will change the music, because I have some assets in my from my Unity account. So implementing sound effects for the next one. Also, what else can be done? What else do I need? Gameplay from chapter. This is the one of the most important ones. I needed to update the save files. Update save files for all the chapters. From now on, I'm not thinking about changing. I'm not thinking about adding any new features and any new game objects inside my chapter, inside my game. That's why I needed to update save files as it's in now. Also, I need to. This is the trickiest part. I haven't tested these save files inside any build, and I'm still not really sure that if keeping these save files as JSON file in JSON format can be represented, can be used in the final build. I will try this one also. So I need to update save files for all the chapters and try to use them inside the final build. This is the trickiest part, and this is the thing that I needed to take care of as early as possible, because if this line, if I did not manage to work this line, my game probably will not be available. So I needed to figure out the logic behind this option as soon as possible. So that's all for today, and I hope to see you within maybe after 12 hours in the early morning in today. So have a nice day, and thanks for watching, if anyone can be able to watch till now.